Hello, everybody. I'm going to make this video. This is primarily for my beginning driver child, but feel free to use it for your child or someone else that's beginning to drive, or for your own knowledge or whatever. I'm just going to go over some of the basics of car ownership and being able to um, take care of yourself as a car owner. Cars have gotten extremely reliable since I started working on cars years ago. So, not very many people get under the hood anymore. Not many people know how to do it. So I'm going to impart some knowledge here. So I'm going to start out with the most important thing in owning a car, knowing about your car, being familiar with your car. And that is the thing that resides there in the glove box. And that is your owner's manual. It's surprising to me how many people do not open this, read this, or even know that it exists. Yes, there's a lot of safety fluff in the beginning. I mean, if you feel inclined, then absolutely read that. But there is a lot of important things in here. And a lot of questions can be answered by looking in the index and flipping to whatever page it indicates and doing a little reading. I can't stress that enough. I mean, it's an internet meme now, RTFM, and it's so true. A lot of questions I see people answer on car forums and everything can be answered by sorry, someone's driving by the house slow looking, by just looking in that manual. So I'm gonna go over, like I said, a few basics. If I miss something, or maybe you're curious to something or something you want added, please let me know. I will hold on to the raw files of this, and I guess I can add it as an addendum later on, and just keep splicing it together and uploading new videos. I'm going to skip over stuff like HVAC. This is more, what does that warning light mean? How do I check my fluids? How do I check my tires? Well, how much tire pressure am I supposed to have? Those kinds of things. I'm going to assume that if you've gotten this far, you've got a driver's license, you know how to operate this. No one really has a manual transmission anymore, so, and I'm not doing a video on that. So anyway, if the HVAC operation is something that you want me to go over, please let me know, and I will. Again, it's in there. I can promise you it's in there. Okay, so I guess I can go with some symbology and stuff. So at some point in automotive history, the engineers, the Society of American Automotive Engineers, I'm sorry, not American, they kind of decided on some standard symbology for things, like the red triangle here. That means hazard, caution, whatever, and that's going to always be for your hazard lights. It's usually just a simple push your buttons. It works with key on or key off. Easy peasy. Again, in the owner's manual. So let's go over some of these lights that are, again, in the owner's manual. I think what I'm going to have to do is cycle this ignition a few times and pause it if you need to. But we'll go over a couple of them. So let's hit it again. So we have here, that one little right there, that just went out. That's your tire pressure warning light. Whoop. There. Sorry about that. This was impromptu because my child came and asked me a question. So every car since I believe 2008 has some kind of tire pressure monitoring system in it. It was mandated by the federal government after a scandal. We'll call it a scandal. I'm not going to go into it. You can look it up. It's the Firestone tire thing with the Ford Explorer. So that's what kind of caused it. So what that means is your tire has fallen down, and I'm not sure if I can do this without starting. A saved pressure. Some cars it can be changed. Some cars it can't be. Some cars just have the light. Some cars have, and mine's not going to show up, but that's, they'll tell you which, how much is in this tire, how much is this tire, how much is this tire, how much is this tire. So that means that you should probably check your tires. So You can go to a gas station as long as they have a working air pump. I find that your Wawas and your Sheets typically have operational air and water pumps. If not, if you can't, or you have trouble finding one, go to an auto parts store. Even Walmart carries them. You can get a little portable pump that plugs into a cigarette lighter. Harbor Freight has them. Anything that has some kind of car automotive section has an air pump in there. And you put your air in your tires. Well, you're asking yourself, how much do I actually put in my tires, Dave? I'm going to solve that for you. Every single car on the road today, as far as I know, maybe classics, they have this. This is inside the driver's door jamb. Tire pressures. You can see here, this is my car. You get front and rear spare. You get your sizes. These were the sizes that the vehicle came with. And look, here's your tire pressures. 32, 32, and 32. That's how much is supposed to be in all of my tires. 32 PSI. You even got the metrics. Easy. Every car has this. If it doesn't have it, it's probably because your car's been repainted or been in an accident and this is gone. I want to say you can get this for free from a dealership or whatever. But if you're in a crunch, look at that. C manual. That is amazing. Just like I said. So, what you do is you get your air pump. They're going to have some kind of end on the hose. A chuck is what it's called. And you're going to have this on every single tire. You just unscrew this. Some of these are missing. You attach the chuck here. Whatever style. There's various styles. There's screw-ons. There's clamp-ons. There's ones that you kind of have to push on, like hold on with pressure from your hand. And you just pump it up until you get to the right pressure. It's simple. Very simple. So let's go back in and look at some of the other lights. I probably should have paused it right there. Anyway. Oh, it started. My bad, I had my foot on. Crap. This is not being as polished as I want it to be. Anyway. Sorry, it's just such habit. You see this one up here? Focus. Check engine light. Very important. What that means, when that light comes on, what that means is that the computer that monitors the vehicle has detected something that's out of whack. It may not stay out of whack. It may be it may continuing to be out of whack. It doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong. More times than not, it does. But it's just a general indicator light. I'll make a statement here, and please don't sue me or anything. If the car is running okay, like you don't detect any aberrant behavior from the car, you should be okay. Should be okay to drive it. Case in point, my child's car had a check engine light on it, and it was just for something minor. I told her what to keep an eye on, and she's been driving it since then. And then the light went out after I bought parts. But anyway, if it is not acting right, do not drive any further. You can do some damage. What they call a code scanner. They come, they're very simple. You can get some pretty cheap. AutoZone, I believe Advanced Auto Parts in O'Reilly will come out and scan it for you and tell you what the code is, which, might be Greek to you, but it gives you some kind of idea. At any rate, get it fixed. It's an emissions equipment. It could be the running state of the motor itself. It could be a lot of stuff. It's a lot going on there. So just get it looked at. So let's see if there's any other important lights to go in here. I think I know at least one. So that one right there, little battery. It looks like a little battery. That means exactly what you think it means. It really doesn't. What it more than likely means is that your alternator, which is the thing under the hood that charges your car battery, it means that it's under or over voltage. And it will mean that there's an issue. Whether or not it's safe to drive is another thing. More than likely you can get it towed. Don't jump start it, because that's not what it means. It does not necessarily mean that you have a bad battery. More times than not, Why is my device getting too hot? More times than not, it means the alternator is on its way out. So just get it towed, or if you're near a repair shop, take it into there too. I think there was one more light that I wanted to go over. That too, I think. Oops. So, see this brake light that just went out? It says brake. I think from mine that means parking brake. Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't. Yeah. So that can be different things. Some cars you have one light that's for the parking brake and the brake warning light. If it comes on, check your parking brake. Make sure that it is not engaged. It could mean that you're low on fluid. It could mean there's a brake pressure problem. I don't recommend driving it. It's not super safe. I'll just go with that without getting an explanation. And there's one more that I want to go over warning-wise in here. And you see this one right here? That's your airbag light. That means there's a problem in the airbag system. You could probably get away with driving it. It can be very dangerous. There's explosives in here. It will explode out into your face, and it could cause you to have a wreck. It could break your nose. It could break your wrists if you're holding the steering wheel incorrectly. It all depends. I would take it and get it looked at. Again, that's going to take a code scanner to take a look and see what the fault is. Let me see if there's one more. Let me see. ABS that just went out. That light's going to look a little different from car to car. I've seen them where they have like the universal brake symbol around it and it says ABS. I've seen it where it just has the light that says ABS. Again, that indicates that there's a problem in your ABS system. From my experience, if that light comes on, it just means the ABS won't work. Your regular brake system without ABS will work just fine. And that's my experience. Again, please don't sue me. You generally be okay. If there's weirdness in the brake pedal or whatever, yeah, don't drive it. So that's pretty much in the cabin that I can think of off the top of my head. Like I said, you've got that owner's manual if you have any questions about other stuff, but that's like the general warning lights. So let's move on to the hood and look at some fluids. Okay, the same vehicle, just because I have a few more things here. I'm starting to look at some things, and I might not be, I have some issues. All right, I think what I'm going to do is, since I have another car in the garage, it's a little cleaner and less messed with, but I'll go over two things before I move into there, maybe three. So, power steering fluid. It says right on top of this lid right here what it is. Most of the time they say what kind of fluid it is. If you don't know, look in the owner's manual. A lot of cars, manufacturers are moving away from the hydraulic power steering and they're moving to electric because it doesn't create a parasitic draw on the motor, and it's a little more efficient, maybe even more reliable. I don't know, but this vehicle is very old. Design wise, and it still has power steering fluid. You can see on the side here, see right there, it tells you high, low. Sometimes it's a hot and a cold high and a low. Some have a dipstick on the inside of the cap. Again, look at your owner's manual. What was the other thing? Oh, we'll look at brake fluid. So brake fluid is generally up driver's side, kind of up here underneath what they call the rain tray, which is like where the windshield wipers are. And you can see most of them are see-through, and there's marks on this just like the power steering fluid. It says on the top what goes in here. It tells you what kind. Yeah. If it doesn't look like urine, if it looks more like syrup colored, you might want to think about getting it flushed. That's just my little pro tip. So that's it. That's it for the brake fluid. It's super easy. I'm gonna go, since the belts are a little more easier, you're gonna have a belt. It's gonna be, since this is a rear wheel drive vehicle, the belt's on the front. Front wheel drive vehicles are generally over there. Unless it's a really weird car. So some cars have one belt, some cars have multiple belts. Most cars have one belt. You can't really see in this, but on the underside right in here, there's some ribs. If you can see it, take a look at it. If the ribs are more than a 1/4 inch apart, you should be okay for a little bit. I'm sorry, the cracks in the ribs are more than a 1/4 inch apart, you should be okay for a little bit. If you're starting to see a lot of cracks about a 1/4 inch apart, get it replaced. Okay? That's just if you can see it. I'm doing on this car because the other car you really can't see it. I actually just had to take a flashlight and take a look at it. Okay. Battery, take a look at that. They get corroded. I'll actually show you an example of that in a second. And let's move inside. Okay, so this is less messed with and things are still here. So you can check your washer fluid. Sometimes you can see the side. This one? No. Some of them have dipsticks, believe it or not. And you can check. This one you cannot just fill it up to the top. Sure you're putting in that says washer fluid. Okay. So let's look at coolant. So, oh, can't see it from this side. So cars are going to have what's called an overflow bottle. It's like this. Sometimes it's real easy cap. Sometimes it's a screw off cap. I will be, let me put this out here before. If it's hot, do not open it. Let the vehicle cool, let the coolant cool down before you take it. You can burn yourself severely. So this one you can't really see, but there are actually marks on the side that tell you low and high. It is filled from here. Some vehicles are different. Some aren't. Again, looking at it. Some cars have that overflow tank and a radiator cap. I don't recommend ever taking this off, unless that's the only way to fill the radiator. A lot of cars don't even have this anymore. They just have the overflow tank that I just showed you. That's where it gets filled from. That's where it gets read from. And you can look at it. Be sure you're getting the right one when you're filling. There are, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 different kinds these days. It's ridiculous. When I started working on cars, we had 2. Before that, there was 1. So it's got a lot of hand. Okay. So I think that's all the, oh, I know what I want to show you. I think that's all the other fluids. See this battery? See the corrosion around here? And there. This battery is probably on its way out. I will probably end up replacing this battery. We got winter coming on. It'll probably be before the end of the winter because cold weather and batteries don't like each other. And it'll probably kill it. But we'll wait until then because my wife will tell me, this is my wife's car, she'll tell me that it's not starting good. All right. So, some cars have transmission fluid dipsticks. I don't have a single car here that has it. Actually, I don't own a single car that has it. Look in the owner's manual. Yeah, it's got a little weird. Like I said, I don't have a dipstick. Supposedly this fluid's never supposed to be changed. I will change it anyway. It'll be a dipstick. It'll be very similar to the oil. Look in your owner's manual. I wish I could demonstrate it, but I can't. All right. And most important fluid that you can check. Oil. It's probably going to have a yellow indicator around it. Again, look in your owner's manual. If you're playing a drinking game and you're drinking every time I said that, it'd be scary right now. Anyway, you check it with the engine off. And let's see if I can do this. And let's wipe it off on the rag a little bit. You see those 2 marks? That is the lower limit and the higher limit. Basically a minimum and a maximum, basically, just another way to say what I just said. If it's at the minimum, a quart, more times than not, will fill it up to here. If you check the oil and it's like in between, I wouldn't worry so much about it. Just if you're burning oil, using oil, whatever, if it gets down here, then buy the whole quart and you can fill up right to there. That's easy. See how easy it is? So where do I fill it? What kind of oil do I get? Owner's manual? No. So this one's easy for us. It says right there what kind of oil. Take 0W20. Sometimes it'll say it on the cap. It still might say it on the cap. Doesn't feel like it does. There's going to be a cap. It might say oil on it. There is actually a symbol for oil, and it might be upside down. It might say 710. There's some people laughing. You get a funnel. If you're really good, you might be able to fill it without a funnel. You just open this up. Say it was on the minimum line. You put a quart in there. Be sure you close it back up. Check your work when you're done with the dipstick, and that's it. That's all you gotta do to change oil. I mean, change oil, to check your oil. They make it pretty simple for people. That's for tires and basic fluids and basic warning lights. If you want me to go over anything else, I can. But until then, happy driving. Let me know if this helped you out a little bit. Maybe helped your beginning driver out. And be safe.